Yes.
So in the last class, we are discussing about the how to identify a research problem. That means how to finalize your thesis topic, on which topic you are going to do the research. We have discussed some of the criteria. Again, we can recap or just discuss the summary of that one today. So let us start from that point. When you are going to define the research problem, right? So whatever investigation you are going to conduct, that should be clearly mentioned, or a statement about that should be made in the definition of your research problem. Like you can say to investigate the effect of coolant on the cutting conditions, or you can say to life or anything. Okay, that kind of statement you can make. That should be very straightforward, right? So same time you have to define the suitability of time period and source of the data available, right? As in the last class also we talked about the different criteria, and one of the criteria for the selection of any topic may be the time limitation you have. Different kind of research require the different time limits. Some research required 5 years, some research required 10 years, something like that, right? Some research can be performed in the 1 year and like that, okay? So you have to be sure about the time period, and also from where you are going to get the data. If you are going to investigate something, perform some study, for that you require some sort of the data. If you are not able to get the data in the due course of the time, you won't be able to finish your research, right? And most important for any research problem, what is the scope, where that is applicable. All the research results or topics is not applicable to all the places. Like if you are going to perform some study on the, let's say, turning machine, about the some process optimization, that may be not applicable to milling, drilling, and other kind of machining process. If machining you are going to consider, there can be a number of the different kind of machining process. Same thing happen. Let's say if you are going to perform some study for the small scale industries, and there is a lot of difference between the small scale industries and the medium and the large scale industries. Their characteristics is different, their way of working is different, their organizational structure is different. So one policy or one solution for the small and medium enterprises may be not applicable to the larger organization, or vice versa. One thing, one policy statement or anything developed for the larger organization may be not applicable to the smaller industries. So you have to understand the where that is applicable, that is the scope, right? Where you can apply the findings or any recommendation you are coming with after the study, that okay, if you do this, this will happen, this improvement will take place, like that one. But that has to be defined in the research problem. Okay. And also the limits. Limits means limitations, where that cannot be applied. Scope means where that can be applied. Limits means where that is not applied. And there can be different type of the limitations related to a research. Limitation may be in terms of the time, limitation may be in terms of the funding, that is the money, etc. Limitation in terms of the application of the findings you achieved. Like simple thing, we consider that classical mechanics cannot be applied at the quantum level. At the quantum level, very small level, where you're going to investigate the motion of the electron, proton, or like that one, you cannot apply the Newtonian mechanics. Right? So that is the limitation of the Newton's law. That cannot be directly applied at the very small minuscule level. For that, we have the different kind of mechanics known as the quantum mechanics. Right? So each and everything cannot be applied each and every way. There are some limitations. I hope you understand this. Okay. Let's say another example you can take. Let us suppose that this such problem in a broad general way is as follows. Why is the productivity in Japan so much higher than in Ethiopia? One simple thing. We want to investigate what is the region. If you can identify the regions, you can improve upon and you can improve upon the productivity. But if you're going to look upon this statement, problem statement, okay, this is not clear, not specific, right? From this statement, we are not able to get what kind of productivity. We have a different kind of productivity. Labor productivity, materials productivity, financial productivity. There's so many types of the productivity we have. Same times that is not defining the scope from what we are comparing. A small scale industry over there and here there, or the large scale industry over there and here there. What type of industry we are comparing with in terms of the productivity? Same time, what is the time period? The technology acceptance level or the adaptability level in these two countries may be different at a different time. That may be a reason. So this is a very general problem statement. And that will create a ambiguity or doubt in the mind of the investigator or researcher. So what we have to do, we have to modify it to make it more specific, more clear. Like here we can go for this kind of statement. What factors are responsible for the higher labor productivity of Japan's manufacturing industries during that decade? Now here comes the time period also. 1971 to 1980 relative to Ethiopia's manufacturing industries. Right? Now here you can see that this statement considered defines the specific what productivity? That is labor productivity. Which industries? Manufacturing industries. And time period 1971 to 80. You may able to get the data from both the countries, from the manufacturing industry about the labor productivity. And you can compare the tools applied by them and tools applied by Ethiopia in that one. This can be written in the other language also, other rephrasing that one. Anything can be written in the various way. Like, to what extent did the labor productivity in 1971 to 1980 in Japan exceed that of Ethiopia in respect of the 15 selected industries. Now this becomes more specific. Here, there are some ambiguity regarding the manufacturing industry. Are you going to compare all the manufacturing industry? No. It won't be possible. So you have taken the 15 cases of the manufacturing industry. That may be representation. And what factors are responsible for the productivity differentials between the two countries by industry? You can take the 15 manufacturing industry and compare them, and you can come with the differences between them, like that. So with the sort of the formulation, the various terms involved, such as your labor productivity, productivity differentials, etc., may be explained clearly. You have to clearly explain what is the meaning of the labor productivity when you are going to write a problem statement in that proposal. You have to mention it clearly. You have to be sure about that you are able to get the data. If you're going to design any experiment, you are going to take any topic for your research thesis, you have to make it clear that you can have all the resources related to that one, data collection, or if you're going to do some experiment, that machine should be available. If you are going to perform the experiment on some materials, new materials, you should have access to that material. Okay. So this example, consider that one. Okay. Now coming back. Some more example, you can go and search like this kind of page, like, okay. These are the links given to you. You can go for the online resources. I also go for that one to get the as much resources as can be possible to explain the any concept in the clarity. Okay. And here we have the some sort of checklist for feasibility of the research problem, right? You can say yes or no against each and every parameter. Like, is the problem of the current interest? That means people are currently working around this. This is the focus area of the research in that field or not? Will the research result, whatever the result you are going to get out, have any value? Value means significance, applicability at the social, educational, or the scientific level. Either that is going to change something in society, right? Some contribution to the society, or that is going to improve the knowledge base at educational or scientific level. So if that is yes, that may be considered. If no, we can't say anything about that one. That I have, if you are going to do the research and that has no impact, no value in terms of the social, educational, or scientific, this kind of research should not be encouraged. Okay. Will it possible to apply the result in the practice? If your result is not able, you are not able to apply in the practice, practically, that is of no value. So this is the checklist. You can go through this checklist and check your problem, whatever problem you have selected, and where that is going to fit. I think you know the meaning of checklist. In checklist, when I'm going to do or check for the